The Sixers just stink. They're terrible. They're so bad right now that I would rather talk about Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni saying next to nothing yesterday to the media. That's where I'm at with this Sixers team. We're talking Sixers. We're talking Eagles. We're talking Combine. Who knows what else will come up in the conversation today, but live in 30 seconds with your thoughts and opinions on whatever you want to talk about today. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network Live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow wherever you are watching. But most importantly, get involved with the show, the most interactive morning show, the most fan-friendly morning show, the only morning show in Philadelphia where your opinions actually matter. And I don't even know what kind of opinions I'm going to hear from everybody today because God only knows. Sixers drop a clunker, I don't even know how to I don't know what the adjectives are because I knew they were going to lose. Sorry, Adam. I know Adam predicted a Sixers win yesterday on the show. Now, like that Sixers team is atrocious. It just plain is. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. At Beard of Knowledge, all social media platforms, wherever you are at. If I'm on it, that is how you find me. And we are going to talk Sixers today. Probably a decent amount of Sixers again. The Sixers fatigue after last night is more of Sixers just frustrations more than anything else. There isn't Sixers fatigue. There's just Sixers frustration. So much so that I'm ready and more willing to talk about what Nick Sirianni did or didn't say yesterday to the media, what Howie Roseman did or did not say to the media yesterday at the combine. Like the little bit of nothing that they said, that's more entertaining and more interesting. Keep trying to hold off on talking Phillies and Trey Turner in the leadoff spot, but that is more entertaining than what we watched last night from the Sixers. What's up, Marshawn? How you doing today? Good morning to you, and please, no more Tobias and say, dude. All you wanted was more Sixers talk. Now that we're solely focused on the Sixers, nobody wants to talk about it. Tobias Harris. Like seriously, guys, there's a serious question that has to be asked. What does Tobias Harris have to do to get benched? Like what? I mean, he can't play any worse than he is playing right now. He legit can't. He can't. Atrocious. Again. Last night, the kid just does not want to be here. He does not want to play for the Sixers. He wanted out of here. He did not get traded. He has lost all confidence in his abilities, all desire, all fight. There's a point halfway through the third quarter where Mo Bamba, off criticized, Mo Bamba had more points and a better stat line than Tobias Harris. That is not good. Howie did say aggressive approach in free agency. He said some things. We're going to get into that. I'm going to start with Sixers, move into the Eagles. Then I haven't gotten a confirmation whether Justin will be with us today for Wednesdays with Justin Crosby. But if he is, he'll be joining us around 9 a.m. So we'll start Sixers. We'll move into the Eagles. We'll get back to the Sixers. We'll bounce it around today. But yes, I got some aggressive and some passive comments from him. You saw Tobias Harris at work yesterday. He was not at the pizza shop. He no showed at the pizza shop. People outside the fan base are saying Tobias is the new scapegoat. What say you, dude? Yeah. Every time I just literally had a sneeze attack 2 minutes before the show, so still trying to clear that up. Every time the last week that I try to slander Tobias Harris, I don't know if there's real Tobias Harris fans out there still, or if they're just Tobias Harris bots that are out there to protect his name. Because I get so many comments from people saying that I'm wrong on Tobias. Tobias is not a problem. He's just in a little slump right now. Let's not say it ain't no little slump. Not even remotely close. Like, I literally feel like Nick Nurse not only has to bench him and take him out of the starting rotation, but Nick Nurse has got to just sit him, period. Park his ass at the end of the bench, at least for a few days, few games. Let him clear his head. Let him get mentally right. What you do with a baseball player that's in an 0 for slump, let's just park him at the end of the bench, let him clear his head. And then if you want to bring him back off the bench, it's fine. I know it's insane to say, but I'm ready to put Ricky Council in the starting line. I don't know if you could play him much more than 20, 22 minutes a game, but at least the cat is out there, putting out effort. I know there aren't many options. Rocco still not back. D'Anthony Melton re-injured his injured back again last night. So I know there aren't many options to replace Tobias Harris with. That's on Daryl Morey. But you can't keep doing it. He's in quicksand and he keeps falling. You can't just leave him dangling out there like that. It just makes no sense. Scapegoat. Yeah. I've gotten crushed. You know, I've never been one to criticize Tobias Harris. I have joined the dark side. I've joined the dark side. And started criticizing him, Mitch. But now all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, you're just a hater. And this is like, I didn't realize being a Tobias slanderer brought out so many crazies. And I've only just started learning this over the last couple days. We have the worst collection of contract year players. Ain't none of them getting paid after this year. Tobias Harris is going to get paid by Daryl Morey to return to the Sixers next year. Mark my word. Oh, that's so funny. I've been out on Harris for all my years at PSN. Well, it's taken me a while to join the Tobias has got to go. And he's going to go. I'm just joking that he'll have a contract here. I don't even think Daryl Morey's dumb enough to give him a contract here and face that backlash. But he's here. He's unplayable. I'm looking at right now. I wrote down just trying to come up with a rotation for the Sixers. And because Rocco's name's not in it and Melton's name's not in it, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, you can go Reed, Batum, who didn't start last night, Maxey, Hield, Council. You could start those five and then have Oubre, Payne, Lowry, Bamba, Martin when he comes back, and Harris. I mean, it's not a deep team. So you kind of need something out of Harris somewhere along the stretch, this closing stretch of the season. Give him a break. Let him clear his head. Hell, maybe even tell him not to come in to work for a week. Clear his head. Get right. Because this team it's falling, and it's falling fast. There's no point at this point bringing Embiid back. Go get him, Rick. Ricky Council. Let him play. They're playing him so he looks bad. More he can sign him cheaper this offseason. Yeah, he's going to sign a 3. But what was Furkan's deal? Like 3 years, $5 million a year. He's going to get a Furkan Korkmaz contract. Ridiculous. We need to get this stream more likes and Tobias has points. So it's not many. So it's not like we need like 37 likes on this video. If you do not like this video and tune in daily, that means you think Tobias Harris should be a starter on the Philadelphia 76ers. If you do not like and subscribe to this channel, that means you think Tobias Harris should get a max contract from the Sixers in the offseason. It's not slander if it's true. I agree. I'm always late to the slander part. I try to keep it positive. I try to only bring up positive things. I try not to criticize too many people. But it's tough, Tim. It's tough. Really tough not to criticize people. It's really tough not to criticize Tobias Harris at this point when Mo Bamba, for 2.5 quarters of a game, was playing better than Tobias Harris. Mo Bamba is the worst backup center in basketball, and he had more points at one point. Mo Bamba last night played 18 minutes, was 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep. Tobias Harris played 29 minutes, was 5 of 19, 2 of 7 from deep. He took, let me try to do some quick math here, 13 more shots than Mo Bamba and scored 3 more points. Played 11 more minutes, scored 3 more points. Mo Bamba had more rebounds in that lesser span. Oh my God, it's so bad. Make the Tobias Harris on the court stuff stop. We did say that was a gap year, but this is crazy. The gap year. Phil Saul leader. I did. He still might be. I don't know. He doesn't look like it right now. But he was a good veteran leader on this team. He ain't leading though right now. If Tobias tells me to play better, I would tell him to grab a rebound, you crumble cookie. Yeah, I mean, look. Tobias can't stand on it. This is worse than a hitter going 0 for 20. This is worse than a starter going 3 straight outings and not having a quality start. This is worse than Jalen Hurts having 1 bad game. This is a stretch. This is who he is now. And I don't know if there's fixing it. But a break and at least coming off the bench has to be the start. Has to be. As soon as Joel got hurt, I said the Sixers would be lucky to win 40. I mean, I think you said that on this show at one point, too, in the comments. I mean, we're now to the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. We are only half a game up on the 7 and 8 seed. The 9 seed in the play-in tournament is right there in front of the Sixers. It's a real possibility. Now, they're still not going to miss the playoffs. They are like 11 games up on the Brooklyn Nets and the 11th seed. Brooklyn's not good enough to make that kind of run. Nobody else missing the playoffs right now in the East is worth it. But there's a legit scenario where the Sixers fall to the 9 seed in the Eastern Conference. And if that's the case, there ain't no point in bringing Joel Embiid back. How far does this team have to fall before the team says, you know what, Joel, shut it down. Come back next year. It has to happen at some point. Truth is not slander. It's honesty for sure. Starters not named Maxey. Harris was 26%. Yeah. Look, he wasn't good. Hey, Adam, how did that Sixers win by 10 prediction a workout for you? Sorry, it wasn't a 35-point loss like Marshawn said, but I think we were closer to the 35-point loss than the 10-point win. Campaign needs more minutes because you need guys that can shoot, that aren't afraid. Like Campaign, I still don't think Campaign's a great player or anything like that. But he ain't afraid to put up shots. Tobias Harris is afraid to put up shots. Plain and simple. But you know what? You know what's going to happen? We play Charlotte we got today. Today's Wednesday, so we got today off. Tomorrow they're off. So they play Friday against Charlotte. Tobias is going to come out, put up 27 against a bad Charlotte Hornets team. And all is going to be right in Sixers Nation. Ridiculous. Tobias equals Castellano. Are you talking about Castellanos? Nick Castellanos? You just spelling his name wrong? Either there's a misspell there or I'm missing the joke on that one. He'll get 20s versus the Hornets. Then they'll say he's back. Are we reading minds here? I think we're on the same page here. Because it's going to be one of those, once they think I'm out, they pull me back in. That's what Sixers Nation's going to do. And all the Tobias lovers, the few that are out there, are going to be like, see, told you. And I'm going to say, see, it's the Charlotte Hornets. There's no point in bringing Embiid back at all. Get him healthy for next year. Honestly, I hate saying that. It's where we're at. It's probably the right move. Really is. I really thought this team found its group of players and the coach to take them there. Yeah, I mean, I think you asked at the beginning of the season, Marshawn, how will the Sixers disappoint us this year? Well, they're not going to disappoint us in the second round this year, Marshawn, because the Sixers ain't getting to the second round of the playoffs. This Sixers team, the way they're playing right now, lose in the play-in tournament. They don't even get to the first round. Hold on a second. I got to pull this up here real quick. I got to go NBA standing as playing right now. And this is not a knock on Tyrese Maxey because Tyrese Maxey is doing all he can do. 7th seat right now is the Magic. 8 is the Pacers. I can see the Pacers getting up to the 6th spot there. Okay. The Bulls are 9. The Hawks are 10. Now, I think we could beat the Bulls in the play-in tournament, but we would have to beat probably the Pacers. Well, you're not going to do that. We are not better than the Pacers. We're probably not better than the Magic. I don't know if Trae Young's coming back or not. I saw he had surgery. We might not be better than the Atlanta Hawks. We may be equally as bad as the Chicago Bulls. But that's it. There is no way the Sixers get out of the play-in tournament the way they're playing right now. So that's how they're going to disappoint us this year. We're going to get a quicker trek into the offseason. More time on baseball. More time to focus on baseball this offseason. We cut the lead to 2, then Boston went on a 17-0 run. I know. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this game's over. This game's over. I blinked my eyes. They were right back in it. And then I got up to fill my glass of wine up. And from the time I filled my glass of wine up to the time I sat in my chair last night, they went from 2-point down to like 15 down like that. I was like, what? What? Campaign might be better than Beverly, but that ain't saying much. It's not like you're saying Campaign is better than Steph Curry. Pat Beverly, at least, he's got some veteran leadership and experience. Look, if Campaign is the answer, then we got even bigger problems. Look at my comment. I just said we are on the same page. I see the comments. I get a little behind because I go on these little rants, but we're on the same page, Tim. We are absolutely on the same page. I said keep Embiid on the sideline as soon as he was hurt. It's a knee. Yeah. Look, they tried to bring back Melton maybe too soon. Maybe they thought he was right. And Melton's right back, and it's the same back injury. He probably is going to miss more games. Back injuries are the ones that I hate. Back injuries and hammy injuries. They're the ones that bother me the most. They just linger. They have this unbridled enthusiasm. They just tick, tick, tick. They don't go away. And Melton having a back issue. I mean, we might not see him the rest of the year. It'd be nice if Robert Covington decided to get healthy and play again this year. That would be nice. Stop. 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 But you might be right, Marshawn. You might be right. We might be getting to that point at some time. At some time we might. Too many blowout losses, dude. It's frustrating. Beyond belief. Sixers win percentage without Joel is 4th worst in the league. Tim, all this statement does to me is re-solidify the fact that Joel Embiid right now, just give him the MVP trophy this year right now. I don't care that he missed the rest of the season. There is no player in the NBA that means as much to his team as Joel Embiid means to the Sixers. And that's partially Daryl Morey's fault, too. Because Daryl Morey built this team perfect around Joel Embiid. Perfect-ish. Okay? This was the best supporting cast that Joel Embiid got. But Joel Embiid does miss time almost every season. So you kind of needed to plan a little bit better for life without Embiid. And they didn't. They banked all their eggs that Embiid would be here majority of the year. Well, Embiid, how many games has he missed? If he misses the rest of the season, I don't even know how many he's played this year. That's the problem. But it also proves that Joel Embiid is that elite of an MVP. Literally, the Sixers right now prove that Joel Embiid already deserves the MVP trophy this year. Pat Bev isn't the leader you think he is. See, the thing is, Pat Bev might not be the leader I think he is. He's more of a troll and a pander, but he brings a little dogfight. Like Pat Bev is kind of the guy that we needed last night to kind of slap some faces, get people back in. We don't have that guy. Kyle Lowry ain't that guy. I would say Pat Bev is greater than Kyle Lowry at this point. Kyle Lowry is washed. I said it when the rumors started that the whole trade deadline was about freeing up a roster spot for Kyle Lowry. I said this is not 2015 Kyle Lowry again. That's the problem with Joel Embiid, with a healthy team, with a winning team. Kyle Lowry is a perfect complement. But on this team, we need Kyle Lowry to be 2015. He just can't be that. And what he is brings nothing to the table. I wrote an article on trading Embiid. Trey took the keep him side. Look, I said it 100 times. I'm going down with the ship. I'm not supporting trading Joel Embiid. But I get it. That's the thing. Like, I could say, no, I don't want to do it. But I can also say I understand the theory behind it and why you would consider doing it. That's the problem. I'm just going to roll with it. Until Joel Embiid ends up like Yao Ming and can't stand, I'm keeping him. I'm rolling with it. Going down with the ship. It's like the last man. It's like the captain on the Titanic going down with the ship. That's the flag I've planted myself in. I've been wrong on a lot of things with the Sixers team. So I'm probably wrong on the Joel Embiid train too. I was wrong on Ben Simmons. I was wrong on Brett Brown. I was wrong on Tobias Harris. I'm probably wrong on Joel Embiid. I was sort of right that James Harden. Funny thing. Checking my memories on Facebook. I do it every day. I love it. I love looking back at things I tweet out about and all. But it also is funny because I share the show out on Facebook. Have been for 3 years, every morning. And I get to see what I talked about today last year. And today last year was like the second or third game of James Harden's tenure in Philly 2 years ago. And I was the show was centered about how great can James Harden and Joel Embiid be. And then the second line of the description is, what is wrong with Tobias Harris? And we're still right here 2 years later talking about what is wrong with Tobias Harris. Oh, my God. Take Joker off Denver. They're still mid. They're not lottery. Probably. Because they're a well-coached team with great rotational pieces, and they know how to fill in. Aaron Gordon would turn into a much better player, probably. There was a point, like last year, someone brought up Aaron Gordon's name. Maybe not a trade deadline. I forget. And I'm like, Aaron Gordon, he's so mid. He's so bad. He's not what he was supposed to be. I watched a few games. I'm like, hold on. I was so wrong. Aaron Gordon still is a really good player, if need be. Always end up being a Daryl Morey blame game, but you wanted Tobias here at the deadline. Did I say I want Tobias here at the deadline? I don't think I did. And it is Daryl Morey's fault. He built the damn team. How can you not blame if a house falls over, you blame the person that built the house. If the pizza's wrong, you blame the pizza maker. If the soup don't taste good, you blame the chef. The steak's not cooked right, you blame the grill guy. Daryl Morey built the team. It's his fault. Daryl Morey failed this team in City and did not fix this team at the deadline. All worried. Everybody's always worried about next year. Worried about next year and all the cap space and picks that we're going to have at our disposal. But we just gone wasted a year. I'm frustrated. I really am. Pep Bev wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. My God. Pat Bev worked with the young guys during games, went to Milwaukee, and was running the huddle. Yeah. I should go back and clip Phil saying that he is a Tobias Harris. Go for it, Mitch. Go for it. I'm a Tobias Harris fan. I still like the guy. The guy is a good dude. He's kind. He's friendly. He's just in a shitty situation. And yes, I'm not a Tobias Harris hater, but I understand that Tobias Harris should not be playing basketball right now. And he damn well shouldn't be starting for this team. I would take a washed Kyle Lowry over Pat Bev. I'm taking a champion over a play-in MVP. Wow. That is it. Sit Embiid for next season just so he can get injured again by the All-Star break. Oh, man. I get it. Blame Brian Johnson. Hey, there is a clip of me saying it's always Brian Johnson's fault. Where is Shane? Shane was supposed to send me that clip. I'm supposed to have a clip from a show I did on EOP before the Eagles season, and I said, blame Brian Johnson. I wanted to have it queued up for moments like this, because it's always Brian Johnson's fault. Joel failed this city, if we're keeping honest. How did Joel fail this city? He had a player fall on his leg and bust up his knee. That ain't his fault. What has Morey ever done? Got a team to what? Daryl Morey, and Tim, I've been on record as saying this since the day he was hired in Philadelphia. I wish I was smart enough to go back and find the tweet, find the show. The day that picture of Morey and Doc Rivers in front of that glass window with the laptop was posted. And I went off and said, this is not going to work. I said then, we will get James Harden here in Philly, and we will not win. What has Daryl Morey ever won? The most overrated executive in the NBA. The most overrated executive in a lot of sports. If the Sixers are any indication of Josh Harris' ability to build a winning franchise, yeah. That is definitely a yeah right there. I've been warning Ref the District, my Washington Commanders counterparts down there. Ref the District are great guys. Trev, Stoner, and the crew down there. They do great work. But I've been telling them since the day Harris bought that team, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, it's great to get that scumbag out of the NFL and away from it, the former owner. Daniel Snyder, Spider. He was like a snake. But it's not going to mean you might have less controversy, but it doesn't mean you're going to have a winning team down there. The pizza is never made wrong at Fox's Pizza. I know there's a lot of comments and a lot of things, but I need a quick side tangent here because this is what I had to deal with at the pizza shop yesterday. I'm going to show a picture. I put it out on Twitter, I think, and I'm going to do it. And this is what my day at my pizza shop was like yesterday. Okay, I'm going to share this screen. Give me a second. This is what I had to deal with at the pizza shop yesterday. All right. Show up to the pizza shop. I drive by my dumpster. Someone decided to dump their trash next to my dumpster. First off, using a public business's dumpster, period, is wrong. They pay for that dumpster, not you. Don't use their dumpsters. People are always dumping their trash in my dumpsters. Okay, whatever. At least if you're going to steal my dumpster space, dump it in the dumpster. Why throw all your bags of trash next to my dumpster? Like, what in the blue hell is this? What kind of scumbag dumps trash like this all over my park? Now, I got to spend time cleaning it up. And all the people tell me, well, get security cameras. What? So you want me to spend more money on security cameras? This is what's wrong with people. This is why small businesses struggle. The stress on a daily basis that we have to go through. And this is what I got to deal with? Get the hell out of here. Drives me insane the way people treat that. But whoever did that probably will come in today asking for a donation for something or a discount on their pizza. And you know what? I'll give it to them. But yet they're dumping trash. Support your small businesses. Don't make small business owners' lives harder than they already are. Drives me up a wall. Back to the comments. Tobias will always be in a shitty situation. Dude is horrible, and he has one job. You had one job to do. What's up, Jonathan Harvey? How you doing today? Tobias is kind and friendly. So is his playing style. He needs a basket. He might need a therapist. I don't know. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, Morey loves certain players and sticks with them. Trades to make them happy, not build a team. Daryl Morey is the failure. It just is. What has Joel ever done? Love Joel, but he gets a big piece of the blame. He's not there right now, but I get it. Bill Stone's 6'5", 7". Even if this isn't the year, I think Nick Nurse is the guy for the Sixers. I think that's interesting. So I saw somebody, and thanks for the comment, Bill. We're doing this live every day. So make sure you subscribe and are tuned in every day. Not just Sixers talk, Eagles talk, Phillies talk, Flyers talk, Union talk, life talk, pizza shop talk. Saw somebody say on Twitter, it actually may have been Mitchie Poo, I don't know, saying that they don't see any criticism of Nick Nurse. And I think Nick Nurse is the guy, like you said. I'm content with Nick Nurse. But does Nick Nurse deserve any of the blame? And I think there's a conversation to be had there because of the fact that he will not bench Tobias Harris. I think there's room to blame Nick Nurse. Tobias Harris, yeah. You asked what a Bogdanovich trade going to do to improve this team. That's fine. I asked. Doesn't mean I said I don't want to trade Tobias. I said, is that good enough? Well, now we're seeing that, yeah, it would be good enough. When is the best time to order food from a restaurant? Some days the food is super fresh. Some days it tastes old and stale. Well, it should always taste fresh. There should be no day that's better than others. If it tastes old and stale, it means they're slow. Not always by their own fault. Or they got a bad person in the kitchen prepping. And they over prep one day, and that's why it's not fresh the next. Try to stay on top of that. Your par sheets. Your prep sheets. Only prep what you need. It's a tough business, man. It's not easy. And I should be worried about this, not cleaning up trash. That trash thing drives me up a wall. I've seen people plenty of times dump in my dumpsters. I've caught them doing it and yelled at them. And if there's any overage in my dumpster, I'm the one that pays $250 to the trash company, not the people dumping. So if you fill a dumpster up for somebody else's dumpster and it overflows, the trash company is going to hit that small business owner with a $250 fine. So that just cost your pizza or your food now had to go up in cost. Don't dump in businesses' dumpsters. When you see a donation bin that says books and shirts, don't dump mattresses outside of it. Last year, somebody put their broken grill out the back of my pizza shop. Just pulled in behind, dropped their grill, and pulled away. And I had to find somebody to come take a grill away. People don't respect their small business owners. You need to make a sign saying that I was wrong about Tobias Harris. What, my word is not good enough? Me saying Tobias Harris isn't good enough? Isn't good enough for you? Like, isn't that enough? I admitted it. I'm past it. You need to get over the fact that I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I know I was so wrong. I am cognizant that I was wrong. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. Very cognizant of it. Joel and Tobias are the only constant in the last 5 years of playoff disappointment. Man, Marshawn, you're not going to let the Joel. He's got to go rest. And wherever I am, whenever that day comes, whatever channel, network, radio station, wherever I am, right here, you're going to say, I told you so. I hope you follow me on Twitter. So if I ever left and I went somewhere else, that you could find me. If I'm not doing shows anymore, when Joel eventually gets traded, you're going to run out to Fox's Pizza and be like, see, I told you so. It's like that the Family Guy minor character that just pops up randomly from time to time and points to Peter Griffin and says, phony, phony. You're going to pop up somewhere in a few years and go, you were wrong. You were wrong. Mitch wants public humiliation. He does. He wants to prop me up so the world can see that Phil was wrong. See, that's the thing. I always say one thing, that your opinions actually matter. That's what I love about this. I do this show about your opinions. We discuss your opinions. But the other thing you get from me that no other content creator gives you, I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. I have an ego. Every content creator has an ego. But I don't have an ego in the sense where my opinions are always right. I'm not Chris Simpleton or Dan Sillyman. If I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong. Nothing else I can do about it other than admit I'm wrong. Oh, I'm pushing buttons today. I love it, Marshawn. I love it. You keep me on my toes. At the very least, that's what you do. But again, the Joel thing, actually, there is a thread to pull, a string to pull on in that conversation. I'm just not going to get on board with it. We're going to discuss it. We can discuss it. We can discuss it once the season ends. But I'm not going to support it. I am going to be the captain of the Titanic, and I'm going down with the ship. I am. Tim switched from Twitter to YouTube. I like it. The lineup around Joel has never been complete this year. I think this year was complete. I want to know why Tim went from Twitter to YouTube. He's trying to help both algorithms on both sides of the equation. I like that. I like the thought process from Timmy. This was the most complete roster, and we never really got to truly see. Like Batum, he's struggling, and he got benched, and he went to the bench. Harris can't get benched, but they can move Nicholas Batum to the bench. Like, what? But. Like, Batum would have been a perfect compliment to Joel Embiid. We got to see it, 3 times? Robert Covington hasn't played. Buddy Hield, the Buddy Hield love has dropped off quickly here. We're starting to see who Buddy Hield really is. But Buddy Hield next to him, Joel Embiid? Be beautiful. That's the problem. They built this team solely around Joel Embiid with no backup plan for when, not if, when Joel Embiid missed time. That's an extremely interesting question from Mitch here. Tyrese Maxey's a young kid. He cannot be happy right now. Plain and simple. No way that Joel Embiid can be, or Tyrese Maxey can be happy with this situation. He's going to have this offseason a big contract to sign. Doesn't even want to stay here. Yabba dabba doo. What is up? I'm cognizant that K1 is in the chat now. Very cognizant of it. For the record, I don't want Joel gone. I'm cognizant of his shortcomings. That is all. No player or players will ever replace Joel. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I'm going down with the ship. Just hoping, just maybe, that someday Joel Embiid puts it together. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm getting for. Tyrese thinking, if only I had Ben Simmons height. I saw somebody tweet it out, and you know what? Tyrese Maxey does a lot for his size, man. He's actually, considering his position and his size, a pretty solid defender. Energy. Hell, might as well shut Tyrese Maxey down for the rest of the year, too, at this point. I can comment better and look up stats while here on the. I gotcha. And now, so first you go Twitter, then you go to YouTube, then you change your YouTube profile picture to a PSN logo. Man, you're all over the place this morning. You're doing it all of it. I'm the biggest AI fan, but when he got traded, I chose the Sixers over him and the Nuggets. I've been used to Sixers disappointments. Hey, think about it. What was that trade for Allen Iverson like? What did we get? Andre Miller back? A couple picks? Allen Iverson is one of the top 20 players of all, one of the most generationally influential basketball players of all time. Changed the game. We got a couple picks in Andre Miller for him. So even if you wanted to trade Joel Embiid, what are you going to get for him? The fact that he's constantly injured is going to affect what you can get for him. I don't know how many likes we got on this video, guys, but make sure you're hitting that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, that follow button. Please pound those buttons for me, guys, and keep the comment. And here's the obligatory Flyers comment. Yeah. The Flyers. Oh, I don't know what to say about the Flyers. Maxey is smart. He knows that it's better with Embiid. He's fine. Yeah. But he's got to be frustrated. I remember, at least, see, the thing is, Tyrese Maxey has a good support system around him off the team. I know when, he got benched by Doc Rivers. I know he went to his parents and spoke with them. He's got some really good supporters around him. So that's good. That's a positive thing right there. Phil isn't even cognizant of the Flyers. I'm not cognizant that the Flyers played. I had Fairway to Heaven last night. I had a meeting last night. I had Sixers game to watch last night. I had this show to set up last night. I'm cognizant of the fact that I don't have enough time in the day to do and watch everything. Just saying. I did change, if you after the show and you look at the thumbnail for the show, the graphic, I did change the writing to orange though. That's a little Flyers, little love there. Morning, Dave. How you doing? Hope you're well this morning. Didn't get too much from Howie or Nick yesterday, but didn't get much. We haven't really talked much about Nick and Howie and speaking to the media yesterday. We didn't expect much from them. I wrote down a bunch of stuff on Eagles. We haven't really talked about them today at all. But we can get into that. If people want to start dropping Flyers or Eagles comments, Eagles thoughts, drop them. Moving into the new studio. You have a studio? I got a spare bedroom with some jerseys hung up. I don't got no with Temu equipment. That's what I got. No studio. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing? The Sixers have two major player problems, being Tobias and Joel. Joel will not put it together in Philly. Besides his knees, will retire him earlier than he wants to, I think. Oh, Marshawn's going to love that comment, Jonathan. That's the anti-Joel comment right there. Marshawn's been waiting for someone to take his side in the Joel Embiid conversation. You're just not going to get it from me. Sorry. 76ers are just disappointing on many levels. Disappointing is definitely something. 7 likes. That's it, Mitchie Poo? 7 likes means that nobody likes. No, 7 likes means that everybody watching this show still thinks Tobias Harris is the man. If this show does not get to 15 likes before it ends, and it ends in 45 minutes, if this show doesn't get to 15 likes in the next 45 minutes, that means Daryl Morey is going to max contract Tobias Harris in the offseason. And I will blame each and every one of you for it. What is up, Eric Core 12? How are you, my man? Good to see you this morning. I get AI's time here was done, but man, we really got hosed in that trade. That's right. We did get Joe Smith. I forgot. It was Andre Miller and Joe Smith. I remember that. I forgot he had a brief little spell here in Philly. I was actually a huge Andre Miller fan. I loved his game. I just thought it was fun, a slower guy, but got hosed in that deal. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't. Tyrese, a Cowboys fan now. Is Jalen Brunson from Philly area? I don't know. I don't know where all these guys are from. I do remember reading that he is a Cowboys fan now. I hate that Buddy Hield cooled off into a role player before Embiid's return. Buddy Hield was always a role player. Just saying. Always was. Always will be a role player. He just is being forced to do a lot here because of no Joel. With Joel there, Buddy Hield would be probably better than ever before. I got it. I got your witty pun. Hold on. Which one am I missing? Hold on. I said cognizant. I've already made like 4 cognizant jokes today before you joined. I'm very cognizant of your pun, and I'm very cognizant that I've made multiple puns using the word cognizant. I'm also cognizant that my man Jason Sullivan from Fairway to Heaven with me last night said I'm making too many cognizant puns on a daily basis. Just saying. AJ, how are you? It's obvious Toby needs his Bobby on the Toby and Bobby show. Yeah, send him to Dallas. I was watching a little bit of Dallas last night and the Mavericks, and I just Luka Doncic. I just don't get how the Mavericks are not an elite team because he could be such an elite player. Like he should be one of the top 2 or 3 players in the NBA, Luka Doncic. And I only say that because wasn't Bobby playing with the Mavs for a little while? And I thought there was a feeling that maybe Toby would go there. I don't know. That's what made me think of that real there. Closing on the house in a few hours. There's a room for a studio. I'll be ready to be on the show soon. We'll see if I invite you back on the show. Well, you've never had you on the show. I don't know. We'll see if I have you on the show. You got to earn the right to come on this show. Just kidding. I don't love that comment, Phil. I hate Joel slander, but I'm not delusional to his playoff history. Hey, I get it. We're all there, my man. We're all there. Born in Jersey, college at Nova. Gotcha. K1 is not cognizant of the start. Yeah, he's not cognizant of being on time. Got us to 8, okay? But still, if you do not get this show, people, to 15 likes on YouTube by the end of the show, that means Daryl Morey will give max contracts to Tobias Harris and Buddy Hield and trade Tyrese Maxey for somebody this offseason. Get those likes up. Luka should ask out, man. They are the Sixers in building. Yeah, I mean, I don't get what's wrong with Dallas. Like, I don't watch a lot of Dallas basketball, but I watch it from time to time, a few minutes here or there, and I just see Luka Doncic playing, and I don't even know if I'm saying the same thing. Doncic, I'm trying to roll my tongue, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to. I don't understand why they're not better regularly. Because he's so good. And Kyrie Irving has kept his mouth shut. And I think he was hurt a little bit this year. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the problems are in Dallas and why they're not better. But even Luka himself. Like, I feel like Luka should be the third best player in the NBA. And he's not. With Tobias set to, this is, yeah. This makes me think that it's all mental with Tobias. It really does. Because he's going to want to get one more bag. And there is going to be a team that pays him. I joked that the Sixers will give him 3 years, 45 and keep him here. But there is going to be a team that commits $20 million a year at a minimum to Tobias Harris. But there was a scenario where if he actually played well and was scoring 18, 20 points a game right now for the Sixers in this void of offense where we are at right now, that he could get 30, 35 million again. Because think of it, 38 million, which he's making this year, or whatever the number is, it's a lot. It was a lot 4 years ago. Now he's only like the 24th or 25th highest paid player this year. Because now contracts are in the 50s and 60 millions a year. Okay. So 30 million for Tobias Harris is just an average salary now. But he's played himself out of that. He's got 24 more games to really prove he's worth something more than a mid-level contract. I don't know. I'm really shocked by it. That's why I'm telling you, it's all mental with him. That's why a break is important. That's why sitting him on the bench for 3 games, not even putting him into the games. Tell him to just stay home. Is Charlotte on the road? Is the Charlotte game a road game or a home game? Let me see here. Charlotte is at home. So I'm not playing him in the Charlotte game, and I'm telling him, don't come on the road trip to Dallas. See us in Brooklyn on March 5th. Just stay away from the team for 2 days. 2 games. 3 days. Just clear your head. Come back refreshed and come back ready to make a difference. Sometimes you need to do that. It works with hitters. Hell, maybe the Sixers fans against Charlotte on Friday should give Tobias Harris a standing ovation. Worked for Trey Turner. I still hated it. I still would never approve of a standing ovation for a struggling player. I'm cognizant, though, that it worked. I'm cognizant that the show is wallowing in the Sixers' failure and not the Flyers' success. Come on. Let's be realistic. I'm complaining I've only got 8 likes on this show. If I had the Flyers as the main topic, we'd have 3 likes on this show. Gone are the days of 20 to 25 likes a show. I don't know what the Core 12. I put up a Core 12 shirt. No one buys it, and the Core 12 lets me down. Haven't seen Will Smith in the comments in ages. Are you still lurking in the background and just listening? Wallowing in failures is more entertaining than propping up an overachieving hockey team. There, I said it. Harris doesn't have to play harder. He's already got a bag. He knows Darryl loves him and won't let him go. This is breaking. This comment is breaking Sixers fans' hearts all over the world. All over the world. Every Sixers fan that sees this is like, God damn, Tim Sullivan's right. He ain't going nowhere. And it breaks our heart. Maxey, Embiid, and Ricky will get traded for Harden and Paul George after Morey promises the max and never tell a lie. Yeah. Paul George. There's a legit chance in my mind that Paul George is a Sixer next year. And that's going to be Daryl Morey's answer. And we're going to trade all this draft capital to bring him here. And it ain't going to be the right move. It's not. It's just going to be more of the same. More of the same. Please, I beg you, like, share, subscribe. Jeez, people. Harris is 19th in Saturday. Okay, so I'm right a little off. I thought it was 24th or something like that. But still, right behind Luka, Trey, Levine, and Anthony Davis. There's a couple guys that are overpaid there. Zach Levine. For sure. But there was a time where it was like the highest salary. $38 million to Harris now is nothing. It really isn't. 3 words or less on Daryl Morey. I only need 1 word. Or hyphenated word. Or 2 words if you want to misspell it. Overrated. Overrated. That's all it is. Stinks. Crumble cookie. I can give you 5 or 6 answers to 3 words or less on Daryl Morey. Let's talk Eagles, boss man. Eagles. What? Let me catch up on the comments. Then we can go Eagles. I don't know if Justin's joined us or not. Let me actually see if he sent me any messages or anything. I sent him the link. Never heard from him. He's not even awake yet this morning, to my knowledge. If Tobias was a football player, he would be a punter. The agent of Tobias deserves a standing ovation for duping the again. Nobody duped the Sixers. I've gone over this like 3,000 times. Nobody duped the Sixers. The Sixers duped themselves by letting Jimmy Butler walk. Again, the Sixers did not choose Tobias over Jimmy. The Sixers chose Brett Brown and Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler. They traded a lot for Tobias. They could have let Tobias walk if they kept Jimmy Butler, but they could not let both leave. So once Jimmy Butler said, yo, deuces, they're like, we got no choice but to max him out because someone else will. Plain and simple. They had no choice. They backed themselves into a corner. It was nobody's fault but the Sixers' fault on letting Jimmy Butler walk for choosing Brett Brown and Ben. That when Jimmy Butler, I still to this day say, if you run it back with Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, J.J. Redick, you run that entire team back, they win the title the next year. There is literally 0 doubt in my mind, at least making it to the finals the next year. Phil, stop lying. Sixers suck. Flyers are for real. Nobody cares about the Flyers, though. I love talking about the Flyers, but no one cares about them. Get Mosca back here to talk Flyers. Mosca can only come on from time to time. You know, he's a working boy. He's got to do what he's got to do. Got to close on the house. Hey, thanks, Tim. Congratulations on the new house. Get that job done and get yourself set up because I've been pining for a day at Tim Sullivan on Trending in the AM. If you look in the links, there's 4 links in the description of this video on YouTube, mister. There's a link to my personal YouTube channel, which you could subscribe to if you'd like to. There's a link to the Philly Sports Network website. There's a link if you want to sign up for DraftKings. And there's a link to my t-shirt store. There's 4 links. You click that, it goes. You can get any of the shirts that are there. The new ones are my Fairway to Heaven, the original, my Core 12 shirt, lots of different colors and styles of shirts and hoodies and stuff, and the Stop shirt. Plus some other shirts that are on there I had put up before. So check it out. Link is in the description of this show. So that's how you get that. I stand corrected, Phil. Sixers did dupe themselves. It is. It's not even like they duped themselves. I don't know if dupe is the right word or the right, synonym and I don't even know. Whatever. If it's the right word. But they effed themselves basically by backing themselves in the corner. The whole process got ruined the day they chose Brett Brown and Ben Simmons over Jimmy Buckets. That was the end of it. That was the end of the process right there. Because since then, it has been chasing one potential idea after another to fix it, to solve it, to whatever. And since then, it's been over. Adjective, synonym, I don't know. It's been a long time since I went to high school and did that kind of stuff. It's funny. And another person laughed at me the other day at the pizza shop. Like, oh, I went to Devon Prep. They're like, you went to Devon Prep? I'm like, yeah, I went to a private school. At one point, I was a smart person. At one point, I got a private school education. I went to a great college. I got into a lot of colleges. Oh my God. At one point, I was smart. I'm smart. I know things. Oh, man. I don't know, guys. I don't know what an adjective or a synonym is anymore. I don't. Learn to birdie is a good thing in golf and stay away from the water. Eric was trying to learn a little golf last night. Fairway to heaven. If you want to bet this week or play fantasy golf this week for the Cognizant Classic, check out on any of the YouTube pages or Facebook pages or Twitter pages. Replay a Fairway to Heaven, the original Fairway to Heaven, not a copycat, Saudi Arabian podcast that copied me. Check it out. Last night we were live at 6:00. Great information. I'm telling you, we got some good bets this week. I'm telling you. Eric Cole, Lucas Glover, Mav McNeely. Mav McNeely. That's the play of the week right there. I'm just telling you. Fox's Pizza is better than everything. And check Fox's Pizza out. The website, the phone number, in the scrolly thingy-mabobber at the bottom of the screen. Just so you know. The best pizza shop in Canada. And that's not just a hashtag. It's a proven fact. So, just saying. I'm smart. I want respect. I was passed over. Dude, I've been passed over my whole life. And that's not just a line. That's the truth. I'm always passed over. No more. I'm so smart. Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm smart. I know things. I was a preppy. I wish I knew if Justin Crosby was jumping in or not today. I haven't heard from him. I want to get into some Eagles talk. I do. But, if I start now, and then Justin jumps on in 3 minutes, I kind of disappoint everybody. So we're going to continue rolling with the Sixers for about 5 more minutes. We'll do a reset, and we will get to Eagles after that if Justin doesn't jump in. Golf needs Happy Gilmore. Golf needs something. And I made a promise last night. We talked about it a little on this show earlier this week about the Bronny James and Charlie Woods and putting too much pressure on these athletes' kids that are also very athletic and talented. And I've said it before that golf's saved by Charlie Woods, but it's a lot of pressure to put on a 14-year-old kid. I don't know what golf needs. They need a rivalry like Happy Gilmore and Shooter McGavin. Shooter's tour. Is there a cooler villain in all of movies than Shooter McGavin? You want to, Mitch, I want to have a special meeting with Mitch. We could talk about working together, Mitch. Can you meet me at the 9th green at 9:00 tonight? Wear something nice, okay? Please. I ask of you that. See, there's my Happy Gilmore reference for the day. Meet me at the 9th green at 9, okay? Wear something nice. Is there a better villain that is awesome? And is there a better actor that has been in a million things than the actor that played Shooter, okay? And he literally has his own Shooter McGavin Twitter account. And he still plays into it. Like nonstop. Like, I love it. Shooter McGavin is the greatest villain in any comedy movie, for sure. Kate Corleone is an evil villain. How is Kate a villain? How is Kate a villain? That I don't understand. That comment is worse than you saying trade Joel Embiid. Kate wanted the best for her family. Kate wanted to protect her family. Kate, there's somewhere in this conversation, there is a conversation to be had about who is more of a villain, Kate or Carmela Soprano. Who's a better wife? Who's a worse wife, Kate or Carmela? Something there. Something there. There's a thread to be discussed somewhere. And I'm writing that down because I don't want to forget about that. Kate versus Carmella. There's something to be had there. Gene Hackman in The Quick and the Dead. Oh, my God. The Quick and the Dead, in theory, should have been a great movie, had a great cast. But some of the cinematography and the angles they used with the cameras and the quick in and out just bothered me, took away from it. When Gene Hackman, spoiler alert, cover your ears, earmuffs if you've never seen Quick and the Dead. When Gene Hackman kills his own son, man, that's ruthless, man. Ruthless. Quick and the Dead is a never talked about enough Western. Everybody always talks about so many Westerns, modern and old time ones. The Quick and the Dead is never in that conversation. In fact, like I haven't even thought of the movie in a while. It's a great movie, actually. That's true. It's true. It's all in the hips. Well, you can show me all about the hips, Mitch, on the 9th green at 9 tonight and wear something nice, please. Carmella knew who Tony was all along. That makes her more evil. Kate knew who the Godfather was. He knew who Corleones were. Everybody knew. She knew what she was getting into. Carmella did as well. In fact, Carmella was kind of turned on by it to an extent. Sopranos would have said a choir show. Hey, yo, you're talking to the president of the Holy Cross Choir in 8th grade. All right. So don't make fun of choirs. If the Flyers want more attention, just invite Meek Mill to the arena. There you go. The Flyers got to do something flashy to get our attention. No, what the Flyers got to do is be buyers at the deadline. What's his name? Drysdale is now out for a few weeks at least. See, K1? I know what's going on with the Flyers. Drysdale's out for a few weeks. That's a problem. But all along, all we've been told is the Flyers will stick to the plan, which is not winning this year. If they overachieve in Gilfar, great. If not, who cares? That's what they keep telling us. And I love that transparency, but also that transparency makes it hard for me to get excited for the rest of this regular season. Now, come playoff time, sure. We'll do some Flyer shows here. That's it. Mitchie. I don't even know if I can say this out loud. I don't want to know what Mitchie Poo's hips are like. I don't want to know. Joe Pesci and Casino. Yeah, look, Shooter McGavin's not better than some of the greatest gangster villains or some of the great, villains in all of it. I'm just talking in comedies and actors that live their part. I mean, well, Joe Pesci lives that gangster part in his life all the time, too. But Shooter McGavin, man, he's such a lovable villain. I love him. I hope that someday in the Happy Gilmore universe, because everybody loves universes, in the Happy Gilmore universe, I hope Shooter McGavin eventually got his gold jacket. I was in choir too. Dude, I was in choir. I was in musicals. I did a lot of things. People judge a book by its cover. They think because of the beard, the tattoos, that I'm not, that I wasn't. I'm a certain type of person. Did a lot of things that people don't realize. Forrester and Brink are back though. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. I just don't know if the goal. So my issue with the Flyers, and I'll give the Flyers a minute if people want to talk Flyers. I have no problem dropping Flyers. I always say this is the topic, this is a topic, and more. So if you want to talk Flyers, sure, I could do it. I don't know if I'm confident enough in our goalie situation going forward to make a deep run. But I see this comment here, which I'm going to jump to get to it. Who goes further, Flyers or Sixers? Well, it's going to be the Flyers. Because I already said on this show at the beginning of the show that I don't see the Sixers making it out of the play-in tournament, which means they don't make the first round of the playoffs. Well, hold on a second. Do they call the first round playoffs the first round still? Or the second round? I don't know. But the Sixers will not go as far as the Flyers. And with that being said, we will ask that question right to it. Joining me on the I Have No Sponsor hotline, Wednesdays, Sixers Talk with Justin Crosby. Good morning, Justin. How you doing?
Good morning. And I want to give you a warning. I have my little co-host with me this morning, so you might hear him too.
Well, ask your co-host. Are the Sixers going to go further than the Flyers in the playoffs?
Probably not.
Dude, last night the Sixers get beat again by the Boston Celtics. All that anybody wants to talk about, though, is Tobias Harris.
Yep.
And look, and you know what? You can't shy away from the Tobias Harris conversation. And even me, the biggest Tobias Harris supporter, look, there's nothing else I need to see. Tobias has to go to the bench. Am I right?
Yeah, he's like, not only is he in the toughest stretch of his Sixers career, but he might be in the toughest stretch of his entire basketball career. I mean, Tennessee, like Orlando, Detroit, like he just might be in the worst stretch of his basketball career, and he's only hindering. And I feel like you wanted to give the guy a chance to get out his rut. That's why he, had 19 shots last night. But it's just like he's not confident right now. And what's most alarming before we go to the bench thing is, okay, if Tobias is not hitting threes, that's whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff that's automatic for him, those mid-ranges, those back downs where he turns over and fades over his left shoulder and his right shoulder, like those aren't even going in. And those are like guaranteed Tobias buckets. So right now, I think you gotta bench them, but they're not, because let's be honest, I'm very frustrated at Tobias. But let's be honest, he's earned the right to work through this. As much as anybody wants to, doesn't agree, he earned the right to work through this. So they're gonna let him work through it, and they're gonna lose games because of it. But Maxey needs him bad.
So here's the thing, and maybe you don't bench him, like start, have him come off the bench. But in baseball, you see it all the time. In other sports, you see it all the time. Players try. I use the baseball reference with Tobias a lot. A hitter is in an 0 for 20, 0 for 25 slump. You just sit him for 2 days. Let him clear his head. Not even bring him in as a pinch hitter later on in a game. You just let him stay away. I've seen it where there have been scenarios in the past with the Phillies where they tell the kid not even to come to the ballpark for 2 or 3 days. Just clear your head. Maybe that's an avenue you take. Tobias, we got Charlotte at home on Friday. Then we're going to, I forget, with the next road game in Dallas, I think.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah, like we're going to Dallas. Stay away. Come meet us in Brooklyn in 3 games and just clear your head. Just get a breather. Maybe that's an avenue to take, or is that, taken away from him working through it?
So I think Charlotte is a get-right game for everybody, right? First of all, that's a must-win. I mean, you want to talk about must-wins in February, right? For this team, this is a must-win because they're slowly but surely, cementing themselves to be a play-in team. But, like, I think Charlotte is a get-right game, and I think he needs that experience to see the ball go into the hoop. I think the team needs to see some offense go, work out, and I think it'll be for the better for them. So I don't think he should stay away from the team. I do think that Nurse should go away from him in certain moments if he's not playing well. So like fourth quarters, like if he's not playing well, like have somebody else in. I think that's the issue. Like if there's a certain lineup or certain unit that's going well and Tobias isn't playing well, you got to go to that and stay to that and don't worry about Tobias.
Yeah, I mean, because the whole stay away thing kind of, intrigued me because, like, I wrote down right now, considering that DeAnthony Melton's probably re-injured again after last night. Like, I wrote down the main 11 guys that could be played in a rotation. I'm like, can you even not start Tobias Harris? Because, I mean, like, I love the Ricky Council story, but are you really going to start Ricky Council already at this point of his career? And if not, then what do you do? So you need to get Harris right because there is nobody else you can play 28, 30 minutes a game. So, like, I mean, to pander to the audience that says bench Tobias Harris, how do you bench him? Who do you start in his place? That's the question I keep asking.
You can't unless you're going to go completely small. I mean, I don't know because then, like you said, Melton came back now. He's hurt again. Who knows with the back spasm? The only thing they could do is maybe start Batum and then go campaign, campaign Maxey Hill. Like, that's the only thing you could do. But then I mean, you suffer from the bench, or maybe start Laurie. I don't know, but I think he should continue starting. I just think that you need to go away from him when the offense is not working or he's not playing well. You can tell he's out of it. I think you need to go away from him.
How does a player get? I mean, is it really just keep shooting? Because I mean, I go back to a play on the Bucks game. I forget where it was in the Bucks game, but at the Bucks game, there was a point in the game where I saw Tobias Harris get the ball exactly where he wanted, down low in the block, posted up, ready to roll, and he literally backed his defender down. He was 2 feet from the basket, and he passed it away. And that right there is a confidence thing to me. And that's what's concerning. It's not just that he's not making his shots. He's lost all of his confidence. And I don't know if a shooter could just shoot his way that like a person of Tobias's level can shoot himself out of that mental block. Do we lose Justin there? I think for a second. Um, we'll get back to Justin in a second. Whenever he jumps back in here. But back to Duck's comment here. A few cases of athletes playing through the yips. That's why Major League sends. Maybe that's the answer right there. Send Tobias to the blue coach right there for a few minutes, and then we got Mitch saying, "I miss Robert Covington." Have we even seen Robert Covington? I mean, he's played like 3 games with the Sixers. I mean, I don't know if there's an answer with Robert Covington. And then the lineups. I have noticed some lineups that seem very, very questionable from Nick Nurse in the last couple weeks, last couple games. I don't know if there's an answer to that either. Let's while we're waiting for him. You know, the actor of Shooter McGavin only took the role because he was promised golfing for free for the 2 months of shooting. That is a great reason to take a job. That is absolutely a great reason. Spoiler alert: spinoff for The Sopranos, the baritones. That's worse. I'm cognizant of the fact that that is a bad joke. Just so you know, very cognizant of the fact. Very cognizant. It's all good though. It's all good. And back to this conversation while we're waiting for Justin to join us. There's no argument to be made here. It's Flyers. It has to be.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, my man. All good.
Yeah,
We
but
were continue
go
on.
ahead.
No, I was talking about the mental block that Harris is going through when on against the Bucks the other day. Saw him
Yeah.
get the ball so low in the block, then
Yep.
back his defender up even more,
Yep.
and then pass the ball out. And that's a mental thing.
He did that a couple times last night, and I knew it was going to be a long night when it was on a fast break. Him and Maxie and one other person, he gets the ball, and he takes it on Derek White, and he like completely blows the layup. I'm like, I know Derek White is a good defender, but like you got to put your shoulder into him, have the normal body control that you do, and make that layup and get an and one. But instead, they go out on the other break, and then the Celtics get a three off of it.
Mhm. Mitchie Prue brought up Robert Covington, and I keep thinking like, who would replace Harris if we did move on from him? I mean, I think Zach was down covering the team last night instead of you for PSN. But do you hear anything? Are we ever going to see Robert Covington at all the rest of the season? Because Robert Covington does strike me as a guy that could kind of sort of fill in this role if Harris can't get out of these struggles. You're still
Yeah,
I think.
I'm going through Tyler issues, but I think Robert Covington last week at the beginning of this week they said he was 3 weeks away, so that means 2 weeks away. At the by the Saturday he'll be 2 weeks away from coming back, and then they'll slowly but surely raise his minutes. So Covington probably won't even get that many minutes starting off. They'll probably have him on a minutes restriction, so maybe the first couple weeks you'll see like 15 minutes a game, but we'll see what he can do. Hopefully he can make a difference. But I think even last night, like missing the option of like KJ Martin, because clearly Paul Reed wasn't working and they had to go to Mo Bamba, like missing KJ Martin was big last night. And I don't think we would have said that in October.
I mean, seriously though, you're saying maybe Robert Covington will be back in 2 weeks, and then 2 more weeks of ramping him up, dude. Your timeline that you just wrote, that's the season. The season's over at that point. Like, like people don't realize. I mean, we only got what 23, 24 games left. This season is still 6 months from ending, but it's almost over at this point. Like, there's not much time left for the Sixers team to get it right. They're already down to the 6th seed. They're a half a game up on the 8th seed. Like, it's just a free fall at this point. Something has to give. And I want to bring up this topic. And I don't remember who tweeted it. Somebody that covers the Sixers did. How come Nick Nurse's name isn't brought? It's only Tobias Harris criticism. Is there any of this blame that can go towards Nick Nurse?
I think somewhat, but it's like the cards he was dealt, like, just been crazy. Like, he went from having an outstanding season, specifically not even being talked about as a contender, to having a team playing so well that they were considered a contender, to literally Joel going down and everybody going down at the same time. And remember, a lot of these losses, these guys didn't have Maxey, Tobias, and B, Batum, Melt, like
Right.
any of these guys, right? So the hand he's been dealt, and he's doing the best he can.
um, if you got to roll, man, it's all good, my man. You don't. The kid is more important, my man.
No, he's just doing this right now because he knows I'm doing something else. But he's fine. But yeah, ultimately, I think you'll see the Sixers play better the next couple games just because of the schedule. So hopefully they can get a couple dubs and stay in the 6, 7, 8 range. But if they don't win against Charlotte and Brooklyn, boy, it's looking dark.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing people talk about it. I mean, I brought it up. I mean, there's an opportunity for this team to fall, not just to 7, to 8, to 9. I mean, I still foresee it would take an epic collapse from the fall out of the playoffs. I mean, that would be really drastic. But the conversation is, does beating Charlotte, does beating Brooklyn, Memphis, does that just give us a false sense of hope? Honestly,
No, it doesn't. It just gives you the wins you need to stay afloat. If Embiid truly comes back mid-March, is what Keith Pompey has recently said, I mean, you give this team to be a 6, 7 seed, a 5 seed, 4 seed. I mean, that's much different. You just got to get wins to stay afloat. That's what I really think they have to do right now. The games they're going to lose, right? The better teams are just going to lose, especially with Tobias not playing well, Buddy Hill not giving you anything because the defenses have changed towards him. But if they can stay afloat and win the games they're supposed to win, that'll make all the difference on determining whether Embiid really truly comes back and what spot they can be in. So they just got to stack the winnable games. And if they get a good team here and there, they beat them from, good performances by Maxey or defense, then I think they got to take that.
yeah, because I mean, the conversation with Joel Embiid has been there all morning on this show. Is it even worth bringing Joel back with this team that we've watched the last couple of weeks? And I get it. If he's coming back and we stay afloat, if we stack some wins, they're going to pull us right back in. But also on the flip side, if they don't win these games, if they lose to Charlotte or Brooklyn, so they got Charlotte, Brooklyn, Dallas, and the Pelicans and the Grizzlies. That's your next 5 games right there before the back-to-back in New York. If they only win 1 or 2 of those games and the free fall continues, there's an argument to be made where you don't even worry about rushing Joel Embiid back.
Yeah, I think that but I think that ultimately we got to understand how big and like his presence is. They went from a top 5 defense and offense with him on the floor. So even with this roster constructed right now, with some of the flaws, some of the injuries, Embiid makes the total difference. We see it. So no matter what seed they are, and he comes back and he's relatively healthy, they'll be dangerous to anybody, and everybody will be trying to avoid them in the first round. I'm talking about every single team.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, was it last year, 2 years ago, the Lakers were like the 8th seed, and they made a run to the Western Conference Finals. So there is that scenario. So getting them healthy. I mean, I joked earlier in the season, in the show today, that just give Joel Embiid this year's MVP trophy right now, because seeing the fact that I think that their pace without Joel Embiid would put them in the 5th spot of the worst records in the NBA right now. That's how bad they are without Joel Embiid. With Joel Embiid, they're obviously one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the NBA. So, I mean, the Joel Embiid factor is proven more and more each game that passes, and how this team plays, right?
Yep, and that's why you'll see Morey hunting for a star this summer because Maxey is good enough, but the other guys around him aren't good enough. And Tobias right now is proving that he's not good enough.
I think we've got people saying that your little man there needs to be the co-host of Trending in the AM right now.
Yeah,
But
he's
anyway,
he's sports too.
is he a Sixers fan?
Oh yeah, he's an every fan. He watches all the games and he just yells whenever he sees everybody clapping on TV. So he's into it.
All right, so I'm going to wrap this up here with you right now for the day. But confidence level, that this team playing these weaker teams the next 3, 4, 5 games is going to turn it around. You're confident in this.
Confidence level like a 7. I think they will. So hopefully they can just beat these teams that they're supposed to beat, and then make it easier for them going forward.
All right, sounds good. Again, Wednesdays with Justin Crosby here on Trending in the AM. My man, have a great weekend, and let's hope next week we have a little bit more of a positive conversation on this show.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. That was Justin Crosby on the I Have No Sponsor hotline. Little man is a Flyers fan, yeah. Chat not aware of child for laws. This will be the second MVP of Embiid forfeited due to injury. God, that was a mouthful for some reason to get out. And put JoJo on ice. See, I was feeling that. Then Justin comes on. My cord just got caught. Then Justin comes on and puts me back in the mood that I don't know what. 14 minutes of Justin Crosby talking, and now all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I'm back in. We're not going to miss the playoffs. We're not going to lose in the first round. Back to Big Al's comment, who goes further, Sixers or Flyers? And I'm like, okay. If Joel's back, Pompey says mid-March, gives us 3 weeks to ramp him up. All of a sudden, I'm like, maybe. I don't know. Shooter McGavin is better than Tobias Harris. There ain't no doubt there. Ain't no doubt there. Yeah, I already saw that one. Just hadn't started. Just when you thought you were out, they pull me back in. I don't know if that's a Pacino version or a Van Zant version. I don't know who my impersonation sounds more like. I'm not positive on that. But really, we didn't get to any Eagles conversation today. So I guess we will save the Eagles. We will just make tomorrow as much Eagles as possible. We do have Kylie join us Friday for Phillies talk. So maybe we'll make all tomorrow about the Eagles. We'll do Friday a little everything and get the Phillies into the conversation. And maybe I will bring some Flyers conversation because K1 thinks I'm not paying attention. But I am cognizant of the fact that the Flyers are playing good hockey right now. I did write this down. Showtime Ohtani did hit his first spring training home run for the Dodgers. I really wish that kid would have came to Philly. I really do. $700 million and the Dodgers couldn't pack their spring training facility for his first game. Howie Roseman or Tobias Harris. Howie Roseman or Daryl Morey. It's Daryl Morey is nowhere near or Howie Roseman 100%. But of course, Howie Roseman would have traded Tobias Harris 2 years ago. 3 teams I fear in the playoffs: Celtics, Knicks, and Heat. Interesting choices because you eliminated. You did not put the number 2 in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers, in the conversation. I fear the Celtics. The Celtics are head and shoulders right there to win a title. I don't know if the Knicks are or not. They're not. They're better than the Sixers right now. But if Joel Embiid's here and healthy, I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of the Heat. I'm not scared of the Cavs. It's still the Celtics. And that's the thing that frustrates me so much about the way this season is trending for the Sixers, is because this is their year. If Embiid had stayed healthy, we'd be in the 2 seat right now. If Embiid had stayed healthy, we'd be one of the front runners for the NBA championship. But no, we're not. I like that Nick says he hurts to be himself. I do like that as well. And we are going to get into that. It'll give me more time to dive deeper into all the press conference and stuff. I just briefly read them. I do have like 8 or 9 notes here that I could get into tomorrow. Yeah, the Pacers are a scary bottom playoff team. The Pacers are the type of team that could upset a first round or second round opponent hold on, let me pull back up the standings. I keep moving from standings to schedule to box scores here. The Pacers are in the 8th seed. They definitely could get up to the 6th seed. And if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks in the 3 seed, I'm scared of facing the Pacers in the first round. If I'm the Knicks, the Cavs, or the Bucks, I'm scared of the Pacers in the first round. From the Celtics, maybe not so much. Anybody else, I'm scared of facing the Pacers in the first round. We some front runners for real. Why are we front runners? Did I miss something there? I mean, all the teams we match up with badly. Okay. See, we don't match up badly with them all. Joel Embiid's there. We only match up badly against the Celtics because the Celtics have our number. That presser was really depressing if you listen to it closely. It shows how dysfunctional the Eagles were last season. True that, Duck. And bring that comment back to the table tomorrow. There's only 4 minutes left in today's show. So I can't really dive much into it. But didn't learn anything. But you kind of learned a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, you don't learn anything from a press conference from Howie Roseman. You do. You got to read between the tea leaves. You got to read between a little this, a little that. It wasn't pleasant. That's all I'm going to say. Embiid continues to stagnate the team every time the team isn't on the verge of doing something. Joel gets hurt or plays sloppy. Man, Jonathan. Again with the unofficial, because it's not officially what you said, the paraphrasing of Jonathan's comments of constantly mean, and I have to say, he wants to trade Joel Embiid, and I hate it. I hate it. But I respect it. Willing to say it. I respect anybody that says and justifies saying trade arguably one of the best players in the NBA. One of the best centers to ever play the game. I respect it. It takes guts to do it. And it takes guts to stand by your guns on that. I'm just not doing it. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm going down with the Joel Embiid ship. And that's all there is to it. Can't change that. I'm not going to get off of it, Jonathan. But that's where we're at. That there is validity to the argument to do it. It's just insane. I don't know. What Nick said did not line up with what actually happened in front of our eyes. Makes me feel that Nick might have been off the pulse of the team last year. Well, you got the rumors floating around that Nick Sirianni treated players differently, and that was a problem. That players get treated differently in every city. You're telling me Patrick Mahomes doesn't get treated differently than the rest of his teammates? You're telling me that Tom Brady didn't get treated differently? It happens. But yeah, Nick Sirianni, I don't know. The more and more the offseason goes, the more and more I think that Nick Sirianni probably should have been let go. It's a shame. Ouch. 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 Yeah. I don't know if the future's bright for the Eagles or not. I want to say it is. I want to say with a good draft and a good free agency, it is. And I'll kind of leave it on this. Howie Roseman's saying that they are going to have to lean on their young guys more next year, whether they've proven it or not, is a really weird thing to say. With all the cap space the Eagles have, with all the draft capital that the Eagles have, saying that you're going to have to rely on unproven young guys, whether you trust them or not, it's kind of concerning. Kind of sounds like a reset year. Kind of sounds like a not going all in year. Really, really interesting to dive into that a little bit tomorrow, because that was the thing that really grinded my gears, that really bothered me the most that was said yesterday. Players know how trash they are without Embiid. They will follow his lead when he returns. It's the only silver lining. Absolutely. May have to trade Joel. So far, success has not come. And so far is a long time. It's been a while. All right, with that, we're going to wrap it up. Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe button. How many likes do we got on this video? Someone tell me. But I'm sure it's not enough. Howie's telling the truth. It's because the budget, even with the cap, there are important players. Yeah, absolutely. I know. But there's other things to it that I want to dive into. Got to dive into it tomorrow. Out of time. Out of time. Still only 9 likes. That means Everybody watching this video wants a max deal to go to Tobias Harris. Hate to break it to you guys. It's all your fault. But with that, we're going to wrap up trending in the AM for the day. Back to Eagles talk tomorrow. Back to that disaster tomorrow. That's right. Go Birds always. Howie is leaking out what Lori told him. Also, your draft picks better pan out. If only a 500 super chat would come in. Anyway, guys, everybody have a great Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. Yeah. Everybody have a great Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow morning. Trending in the AM. Make sure you go back and re-listen to Fairway to Heaven from last night. Cognizant Classic. I'm also cognizant of the fact to shout out to our Flipping the Birds brethren celebrating their 200th episode of Flipping the Birds last night. If you missed it, Liam was on it. Go check that replay out. Guys, we got to wrap it up. Take care to you as well, Jonathan. Tomorrow, Eagles talk. I'm promising at least an hour of Eagles talk tomorrow on this show. I promise I will mention the Flyers tomorrow. I promise we will talk Phillies at some point. But everybody have a great day. And as always, guys, go Birds.